self-defense here. You know, I wanted to take a minute to say a couple of things about some legislation that has just passed in our state, and I am glad for that legislation. That is legislation that allows any citizen of our state to carry a concealed firearm without a license. Now, politically, I believe in that. I do not think that there should be too many restrictions on our constitutional rights. I do believe that because you have to be qualified in many very specific ways to be able to buy a gun, and that's under federal law, that people who are buying guns and then carrying them concealed for their own protection or for the protection of somebody else basically are law-abiding citizens. They abide by all the laws that the federal government has put into place. So if they buy a gun from a federal firearms licensed dealer, then they have been background checked and they have been determined that they're perfectly legal to buy a gun and to own a gun. So then, you know, by that definition, they are responsible citizens. Now, you can get, in my state, you can get also a concealed carry permit. And of course, our company teaches that course required to get that permit. Now, if you take the class, you can get the permit, and that permit gives you reciprocity with about 38 other states and all the surrounding states. So there's some real benefit there, plus all the instruction you get about justification, when you're entitled to pull your gun, when you're entitled to use your gun in self-defense, where you can go with the gun. There are some restrictions on where you can go, and you can't just walk into a federal building or a post office. Those are federal facilities, and our state laws do not cover federal facilities. So I think what I'm saying is, while I am politically in favor of the law, I do want to say that anybody who decides to do, it's called constitutional carry in our state, anybody who decides to carry in that way without the permit really needs to still get some training on things like, where can I carry the gun? How do I carry the gun? When can I use the gun in self-defense? What are the standards for self-defense? What justifies me under the law to defend myself or somebody else with that firearm that I'm carrying concealed? If you make a mistake and your judgment is faulty or you're irrational in your decision making, you could find yourself in prison very quickly for manslaughter, second-degree murder. Many things could go wrong. You still need to know what you're legally able to do and not do. So what I say to the citizens of my state and other states that have the constitutional carry, that means you, if you're qualified to buy a firearm and legally own a firearm, then all you have to do is conceal it and go about your business. You still need to get some training on the legal aspects of what you're allowed to do and how you're allowed to use that gun, if not for anything else, for your own sake. So you do not end up in prison, you do not end up in trouble because of a ill-considered decision or something you thought was okay but is not. There are lots of things out there people will say, and if you listen to people who are not up on those aspects of the law and what's authorized, you can get yourself in trouble very, very quickly. So my suggestion is take the class, take the concealed carry class. If you don't want to go get the permit, hey, that's fine, that's your business. But I would say pick up some training somewhere, whether it's in our state or one of the other states that allows unrestricted concealed carry. Definitely get some training, because we've taught lots and lots of classes and hundreds of people, and what we found is that there's very few people who understand all the laws, all the justifications, who really know how to handle the gun, who know how to safely conceal the gun, who know how to adequately keep themselves out of trouble. So if you're going to carry, and you're going to bring this gun out, and you're going to use it to defend yourself or somebody else, you need to know how to do that. You need to know how that works, what your options are, and what's legal for you. So this is my advice to you. I don't say this because we are trying to look for business. I'm saying it because my experience tells me that it's highly likely somebody will get into trouble with this, and it's a very easy thing to avoid. You just get some advice, you get some education, and you go about your business. And nobody's restricting your rights, thank goodness. We are still a free state. We are still a state that believes in the Constitution, and thank goodness for that. But for your own sake and that of your family, get some training. Find out what the laws mean. Find out what things the federal government mandates, and how the federal government mandates are applicable inside of your state boundaries. Things like schools, federal buildings, military reservations, maybe even Indian reservations. Those are all things you need to look at. So I'm happy this legislation has passed. I am grateful for constitutional carry. I'm grateful for those legislators who support our Constitution and our right to carry and bear arms for our own defense. I just say, please get some training. Keep yourself out of trouble. Thanks.